Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. I set myself a challenge. I don't often set a rigid challenge, but today's challenge was, could I make a card from a single sheet of 12 by 12 coloured cardstock? Just a regular plain sheet of coloured cardstock, and would it look interesting enough? Now I wanted to make the card as well, but the cardstock wasn't thick enough. I'm going to show you how I sort of gave the illusion of having done that. But then I've got my mats, my layers. So I've got three layers all together. The matte layer, then I put a white, then I've got the same colour, then I've got one on the top that I've embossed. I've then been able to cut out from a scrap. I've done a little like doily under there. I've coloured myself a butterfly and I put some sisal. I've even used the same cardstock for the sentiment, all from one sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. You could change these colours. This could be anything you want: rose pink, red, yellow, blue. It doesn't have to be a butterfly. It could be something a bit more masculine. I was imagining yellow with a gorgeous, great big yellow sunflower in the middle. It's going to look stunning. Really quick and easy to make. The longest bit was the colouring, but that's just because I enjoy doing it. So I'm going to show you now how I made it.
I'm quite looking forward to putting this project together, because this is something I've perhaps never done myself before. I found some lilac card. It was a 12 by 12 sheet, and I've cut it down. Now, I want to also say, I want to make my whole card in this lilac colour, but I'm going to show you a really good cheat to give you the effect of a coloured card base without using too much card and making it a bit stronger, but we'll come to that in a minute. So this is a piece of card and I have cut it up, and my topper is 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Now my full card base, I know I told you it's going to be lilac, but my full card base is 5.25 by 6.25. So you'll see I've gone up by 3/4 of an inch from the top to the back, so it should work right time we're finished. Okay, so those are my measurements. So if you do want those, again, I'll put them on the screen, but if you need them, those are the measurements of the card. The top layer, 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches, with a card base of 5.25 by 6.25. But you can adjust it any way you want. Make that 4 by 5, make that 5 by 6. It's entirely up to you. So yeah, I basically got an extra inch on the height to what I've got on the width. But you can choose, you know, the whole point is you can be adaptable. And then I found this tattered lace embossing folder. Let me work out which way is top and which way is bottom. That way is top. It's not got any writing. I'm pretty certain it's tattered lace. I really think it's one of my old ones. And I'm going to pop this in. I know it's linen cardstock, but we're still going to emboss it. And you know me, I like to emboss. I like to cut it before I emboss. Now, this is my card. You can see the embossing folder now. So what I'm going to do is, I've got 2 flowers there and 2 flowers there, so I'm going to try and roughly, just so that it looks a bit better when we've finished, I'm going to try and put those in the middle across the width, but only roughly, and then the sort of same distance height above those, and then that puts me this lovely bit sort of in the middle. It's roughly. Now this is a 2D embossing folder, so I'm going to put it between my plates. Now don't worry that my plates are smaller than this. It's going in my die cutting machine that way round, and so long as my plates are over the bit that wants to be embossed, that's all that matters. Okay, pull that out and then you can see it's in there. There we are. Right, so I can put that out of the way. And then I can open this. Now look at that. Doesn't that look? I know it's only a 2D embossing folder and we all go all out these days for 3D embossing folders, but sometimes simple is best. So I'm going to put that onto a mat, and I'm going to bring in 2 ink pads. I'm going to bring in Lavender Ice, but I'm also going to bring in this one that I really love, which is Wedding Dress. Now it's a mixed media one, this, so it works on fabric. It's a pigment ink, but we're not going to do pigment ink techniques. I just needed a nice white. So I'm going to start with this. Dauber is best for this. So I'm going to get this, and then I'm just going to go over the top. So it's just going to lighten the top. Now another way you could do this is, if you didn't have a white one, is get a sanding block and just sand off the top layer, because if your card's got a white core, then that would work equally as well. You just relieve that white core. But I just thought, I know I'm going to do it all lilac, the whole card, but I just thought I needed a little bit of relief. So much or as little ink as you want, but don't you think that really makes that pop? Just that little bit of white on there. it's, you know, instead of, like I say, instead of sanding it back, it does that. Then I'm going to bring in the lavender ice. I'm going to get the lavender ice and I'm going to go around the edge. Again, as much or as little as you want. It actually glide quite well over that pigment ink because that pigment ink won't be set. I'm pressing a bit harder with the lavender ice so that it goes through to the base. But I just want to darken the edges. I'm only taking it around the very edge. But there we go. That's all I'm going to do. Again, it's just about adding that little bit of contrast before we do. So that is my topper. So we need to put something on the top, and I want to show you how I did this. I created, let me move that out of the way so you can see, this gorgeous topper. So what I've done is I've got my torchon lace. Now this is a double dye, and when I get the first layer out, you can see on here it fits in here. Now there is no, that fits in there, so what you can do is when you cut this, you can either have it with a matte centre or with a detailed centre. So consequently, let me put this bit away, this one has not got a cutting blade all the way around the outside. You see it's got blades, but they don't cut solidly. But that's not a problem. We're going to pop that on there, make it nice and centre because I don't want it to come to the edge. And I'm going to put that on there and I'm going to cut it. Now this is a very detailed die. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get my, oh, it's a bit bendy, is that? My metal cutting plate, and I'm going to put it onto my metal cutting plate just to give me that extra. Then I'm going to put my plastic sheet. I am really going all out with all my plates on this one. And then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. I don't know why it works, but I don't tend to take a plate out when I use my metal cutting shim, because I guess you're trying to get as much pressure in there as possible. So if I pop this out, now you see it's cut into that, which is not what I want. I want it to cut out. I'll cut all the rest of the bits out, poke all the rest of the bits out in a minute. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scissors and I'm just going to create an edge. You could actually, this would look, I never thought of this, I could have just got a circle die, couldn't I, and just had a circle around the edge, and that would have looked nice. Why did I not think of that? And then I've created a lot more work for myself. You have these bright ideas after it's a bit too late, but never mind. So I'm just going round, I'm just basically following. And I promise you, once we've got everything on, even if your scissors skills aren't the best and you've rushed it a little bit and it isn't totally even, promise you, no one will notice. No one will notice your cutting skills at all, because we're going to ink around the edges anyway. You need to poke all these bits out in due course, but there's no rush to do that for a minute. So there we go. So yeah, look at your dies, and even if your die doesn't initially do the purpose that you're looking for, have a look and see if there's a way you can make it once. You know, I wanted a nice doily effect. I couldn't quickly find a doily, but I found this, and there you go. Look at that. What a difference that makes just for cutting into it. So I'm then going to get my purple ink, and I'm just going to go, oh, I need a bit more in there, just round the edges. Again, just because we're doing everything in one colour, we just want to make it stand out a little bit. So just go around the edge. There we go. There we are. Right. Simple as that. There we are. Isn't that pretty? And that's going to sit on top of there. And just having that little bit of purple really makes it pop. Now this is the one that I've poked all the bits out so you can see. So that is what we've got. And the other thing I want to do is I want to create a sentiment. Now I've actually done a bit of work on this already. So here is my sentiment. I've just stamped congratulations from a die set, and I've stamped it onto some of the linen card. Now to get this to work, I did it in my stamping platform, which you need to do because it's a linen card, so you can go a couple of times. And then I want to bend it around there. Now I'll show you how I make it work with the bend, because if you measure it, it won't work. So to put this on, now you just need a little bit of dotty tape, because dotty tape is repositionable. I've lost my dotty tape. I had it out ready. A little piece of dotty tape, and then centre it up. So where you're going to put it. I don't want to stick it down because I might want to raise it. So I just want to pop it really where I want it. Piece of dotty tape so I can move it. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to score down the edges with something like my pokey tool. And then you can fold it and fold it. And that will then give you the perfect size. That's really not very straight at all, but we could get it straighter. There we are. And that's how I'm going to do that. So I think actually I might stick that on and I might stick it on flat. So let's go with some glue and we can stick it down all the way, and then we can pop that. I'm going to be putting this on here, so this wants to go about like that. And all I did was just do a little bit of white around it, just so that I've got something to make it pop. Now the whole point is, I know I said I was going to do white on purple on purple, but even I need a little bit of relief from that. So that's going to sit like that. There we go. Just holding that tacky glue so it grabs. And then I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to get my favourite foam tape and I'm going to pop it down here. And I'm going to go straight over those bits. It's not going to add enough of height to make it a problem. So that means that nothing is going to pop out from the edges when I've made it, because that's the last thing I want it to do. The deboss in this one's really pretty too, look, isn't it? So yeah, I like the deboss sometimes. You can do letterpressing and things with the deboss. So we can pick that up, take the back off the foam tape. I'm jumping ahead here, I haven't even got the rest of the card base ready. Never mind. Okay, I'll show you the rest of the card base now. So that is going to sit, so that was my card base I showed you. And that is going to sit on, yeah, a piece of purple. Purple on purple. Right, need to put some glue on. Don't want that one, want my PVA glue. Really slim borders, so the PVA glue will come in very handy to make it work. We can then put that on. I can see to move it around. There you go. Doesn't that look pretty? The purple on purple, but just that little bit of height. So I'm going to just put that to one side for 1 minute to grab. This was a card base I told you about that was 5 1/4 by 6 1/4. But I wanted a purple card base and I didn't. This card, I can't remember what GSM it is, but it's not strong enough to be a card base. So this piece is exactly 5 1/4 by 6 1/4. So if I put it on like that, it looks like my whole card base is in fact the lilac colour, and it isn't. So it isn't really a matte layer, it's given me the effect of a faux card base, and it's also going to make it easier for writing inside and everything like that, you know, doing any inserts or anything you want to do. So I'm going to put that on there. If you've got a paper trimmer, you'll find it really easy to cut it to the right size. There we go. Use your table to give it a little tap, make sure it's right. Now that looks now like I've got a lilac card base, but I haven't. I've got a white card base which is much stronger, 350 GSM, and it's going to stand up perfectly. And I'm going to pop onto there a white matte layer. I know it's going to be purple on purple, but I just thought I just wanted a little bit of relief. So I'm going to pop that on there. Now it really does look like a purple card base, doesn't it? And then I'm going to pop this layer on like that. It's looking very regal, isn't it? I'm quite liking this one. I really didn't know how it was going to turn out. It really has been a bit of an experiment for me. And we can put that on to there. So I've just kept that white layer really, really slim. Now, if you remember, the difference between this one and the card base is only 3/4 of an inch. So we really have gone up. Oh, look, there we go. You can see now, sorry. Really, really slim borders. But doesn't that look pretty? Okay, so I think we need to get this and pop that on. So let's go. I think I definitely need my precision glue gun for this. There we go. And that's going to go on there. What you might want to do, because it is very, very fine. But again, I'm sure you've got lots of different doilies and things like that, doily dies. You can cut whatever you want out. Yeah, make it work. If it's a little bit too much, something like just tap off excess. There we go. I'll clean that in a minute. And then make sure it's same that side, and then I'm going to put the similar sort of gap top and bottom. Now if you want to, you could always lift that and elevate that. I think that's a little bit too far. There we are, that's a bit better. Okay, so we do that. Now, I need something to go in the front of my card. What I can be doing though as well is I've got a stamping block. I'm going to put a stamping block on the top of there. I'm going to get something heavy like my water spray, and I'm going to just pop that to one side over there. Right. Okay, so I have got on a piece of a Nina card, or alcohol pen card, I've stamped a butterfly. So this butterfly stamp was from the Crafter's Companion Academy of Colour. It was just this lovely stamp. I do like this. It's a really nice one if you are doing some colouring. It doesn't have a die to go with it, but we can manage that. And then I've just got 2 pens, and I do like brush pens for these. I've got Fair Skin Extend and Dusty Purple. And all I'm going to do, Fair Skin, I'm just going to come over these bits here. I'll just do one side because you don't need to see me do it all, but you can see. So I'm just going to cut like the eyes, like in a peacock feather, just on there. And then with the next darker colour, I'm just going to colour those bits. Now that's not coming out very dark, so what I might do, you can never tell. Fair Skin 5. Let's just do those with Fair Skin 5. There we go. Don't worry if it goes over the edge a little bit like that has. Really isn't going to matter. Then I could come down. Let's do it with the palest. Down the centre body. I know it's all lilac, but you know, we just needed a little bit of contrast, but it will work. And then your darker one. I think it needs to be my darker one still. There we go. And I could do those. There we are. Yeah, that's looking pretty. And then the other one I'm going to use is Dusty Purple Blend. Really does work. So all I'm going to do is, I'm just leaning on this one to be, and it also gives me something to test my colours on. I'm just going to colour all over. You can see that, can't you? Yeah. All over the side. Now I would do, when I was practicing this, I just did one side at a time so that the ink doesn't dry too much. And that's going to go all the way down there. You can even do it in quarters if you want, but I think if you work fairly quick, you could do a half at one time before the ink sort of sets. And again, like you see, look where I went over, I just go over it and it just blends it out. You'll never see it, don't worry about it. And then we can go, look, down to there, round, all the way. Now, think about it. Where is it going to be darkest? It's going to be darkest where the body is, because it's going to be folding up. At the end, there's going to have been sunlight on it. It's going to have been faded. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about colouring individual sections. I'm just going to go all the way across with my mid-tone. So my first one was Dusky Purple 1. I'm now gone there Dusky Purple 3, and then I've also got Dusky Purple 4. So I'm just going to come from the centre with Dusky Purple 4. And you can see, can't you, the ink pooling on there. And that's why we put the cardstock underneath, so it can catch any bits. All I'm doing is just blending it out. Now, as it sits at the moment, I've got 3 colours. I've got the pale, I've got the mid. This is where you have to start blending. So I'm going back with my middle one, and then I'm just going to blend into there. So lighter alcohol ink lightens and moves the ink of your darker one. So all it's going to do is blend it in. So now you can see, you can hardly see where the 2 colours change. And I'm going to do the same with here. I'm just going to blend it down. You can just do small movements, circular movements where the colours join, and all you're doing is you're just blending that ink, you're moving that ink. But just remember to go over it again, because every time you add another layer, it will make it a little bit darker. So just down over there, and you can see, you can hardly see where the colours change, but you get that perfect ombre. Once you've got it like that, you are then free to go in and add in a few more darker bits. It won't show in the same way. So I really want it to be darker at the centre. Actually, that's just picked up a little bit. Oh, which way? That's my lighter one. A little bit from there, so I can just come in and lighten that. It's just my darkest one. No, it's my lightest one. Don't worry if it's just, I can just lighten that out. I'll show you that. I'll do that a bit more in a minute. And then I just go in again with my second colour, and I'm just going to just drag it down. So you're just going to work it like that, and then eventually, oops, we're going to have this. Doesn't that look gorgeous? All I've done is I've just fussy cut around the outside. And I think we also need a little bit of shaping. So let's find my score tool. Now can you see, look, this is where the ink came through because it saturates it. Because I've done it on paper, it will then soak it up. If I didn't put the paper underneath, that colour would pool on the back. And then not only would it mark my work surface, but it would then come back up through my die cut. So let's just give that a bit of shape. This is a really simple card, but because we're only using two colours, sort of the purple and a bit of white, it will work really well. So just give it a shape on there we go. Doesn't that look pretty? So let's bring in the card. We can take off the weight. There we go, that's done nice. And that's going to go on here. But I just think I need a little bit of something to lighten it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 3D glue gel. I'm going to put a little bit of that in the centre, that like that. So that's where my butterfly's going to go. I've got a little bit, I call it sisal, and somebody was asking me, saying I can't find it. Have a look on places like eBay and Amazon for angel hair. If you look for angel hair, you'll find it. It's a sort of other net. I don't know which is a trade name. I was always told it was sisal, and I know it's hard to find. Angel hair, and you'll find lots of it. I have it in different colours. You've seen me with green. I've got white. This is the purple. I've got a couple of other colours, but I really, really like it. And the great thing is you can trim it down once it's on your card as well. That glue will just catch that, and then I can put the butterfly at an angle. Now, if you're going on your card, drop that down, sorry. If you're going on your card, you've either got to go poker straight up or put it at an angle so that it looks like it's meant to be. And I'm just going to cut a few of these little bits of the sisal off. There we go. Now that is really, really personal choice. And the other thing I found today is I found some pearls in a perfect colour. You know, I really like my Sizzix tweezers for this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop couple of these. Let's do one up there with a couple of smaller ones. That looks pretty. I could always, I'm going to run out. Oh no, I've got a few small ones here. I could always do a couple of small ones. No, I don't like that. I'm going to get rid of that. So let's put a couple of small ones down here. Just like that. Do I need another little couple? And then let's go. Oh, I dropped it. Do I need another set? Should we do a set down here? 1, 2, and 3. Oh, it's a bit straight. Keep going in a straight line. Ah, that's better. That's better. Got it. There we are. That is all I do. Now, I've got so much glue on my fingers. You could be doing ink splats onto here. You could be doing all sorts. I really wanted to test to see whether I could do a sort of single coloured card. I think it's worked really well. We've got slightly different shades, but look how close that has come to match. It's about, you know, the thing is, when you start to do it, you might think, oh, I don't know what colour to do. So what you've got to do is you've got to find that you've got enough stuff that matches. So I thought I was going to do peach, but then I found that I had the lilac card, and I found that my pens matched it really well, and I had the gems. So it's about working with the tools and the equipment that you have got. So there you are. That's today's card. I hope you like that. I hope you didn't get too angry with my ramblings on, because yes, I do sort of chat away as I'm doing it. But if you like that, please don't forget to leave a comment, and I'd love if you could click on the like, because the like button is the one that really helps me to get my channel noticed and or out to new subscribers. And you're welcome if you are a new subscriber and this is one of the first videos you have seen. You are welcome here. Very friendly channel. We love to your comments and your interactions, and I'm nosy, so if anything I've made has inspired you to have a go, then please do share pictures of them. Nothing makes me happier. So until next time, my friends, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed that. I'm going to disappear now, but I'll be back with another tutorial very soon. So for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.